Hi, and welcome to today's episode of More Than Just Task Management, your favorite daily podcast where we help you build a thriving business. With me, Anna Angelova, a business coach and consultant, and my favorite co host, Joris Minusvant. Morning, Joris.
Good morning, Anna. Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Yeah. Uh, Welcome to another exciting session. This one has the subject that everybody talk about. I think even when you open the news on TV now, they talk about AI, AI this, and AI is going to replace humans, and soon we're going to have robots serving our foods in restaurants, and so although we have had a few calls about demystifying AI and AI, what it is, what it isn't. We talked about this before. There's still uh, benefits that you can get as a small to medium sized business by implementing AI into your business, which but you have to be careful. It has to be practical. It has to again fit and integrate with the systems that you have. It has to be affordable. If you don't watch out, it's going to become very, very expensive. A lot of AI suppliers, they fool businesses where they say, "Oh, it's very easy, quick to implement," but as soon as you implement it, the cost of usage goes through the roof, and then it needs to give you the results that you want, help you grow revenue, profitability, etc., etc. So we'll talk about a few use cases very quickly on what they are, what their benefits are, and then if there's interest, contact us. We can deep dive into any of these.
Yeah, today we'll share a few use cases because we promised you when we had that conversation a few weeks ago, probably a month ago, when we talked about what AI is and what it's not. And when we talk about AI, most of the use cases here are actually with generative AI or those LLMs, right? This is what it is, like a language model. So again, like all the cautions we've had before, go listen to that episode to learn more about AI, and we'll have future episodes as well to demystify this. But today, to start our conversation, one of the first use cases, which we're all familiar with, is those chatbots, right? Those chatbots where you go and you chat with an AI, right?
Mhm.
And chatbots existed before ChatGPT came and LLMs came, right? They were there before. Now they're a little bit better and powered by those powerful models, right? The language models. With those ones, while it's okay to implement it and have it handle FAQs. Like you need to be careful. Like we did mention it when we talked before, because they still hallucinate. They still provide information that's not actually true. Like because it's a language model and it generates the next most likely word, which might not be applicable to your business. So you need to be really careful with this. And if you do decide to implement something like this, like a chatbot, as a small business, as a medium-sized business, like your power can be in being reachable. Like a person can reach a person, right? Human to human. So if you do decide to have a chatbot on your website, let's say, that answers some questions, we highly recommend having an option as well where you can connect with a person too. Like if the chatbot,
And
like the
quickly.
AI powered chatbot, is not giving an answer, that someone can quickly go and say, or they can directly go and say, without telling the chatbot, connect me to a person, they can actually choose the option to directly reach out a person.
Mm.
So our personal advice and recommendation as experts is for you to use this only in addition to having a real person. If you don't have a person who can support that chatbot, the chat functionality on our website where someone can connect with them, don't use the chatbot because they're from your own experience, you know that they're frustrating, and rather than helping you most of the time, like you want to talk with a person, because most of us are relatively savvy. We go and look at a website, and if we can't find, this is when we go and ask the chatbot. So uh, highly recommend using it in addition to having a person.
Don't make it a first line of defense. A lot of companies had made it a first line of defense where it stops users from spending or wasting the time of your customer service representatives and asking stupid questions. But instead of having the system built in a way that it only answers the simple questions, and then if it's not a simple question, then pass it to a human being, they have created these massive defensive loops where it frustrates the user. So don't do that. I love it. Well, the great advice, Anna. Second one is the personalized marketing campaign. And I like this one because a lot of times people take one template and then they just replace the first and the last name and then the address and send it out. What Chatbot and AI has enabled is you can ask AI to look at every single customer's profile and create a personalized email, because we all know we can, within the first sentence of an email that we read, we know it's a canned one or is it personally typed email. This is something that AI can do, although it still may require some review, someone to take a look at it and maybe even take some of the AI marks that are in the content that it generates out of it and make it a little bit more personal. But it speeds up. Instead of you as a marketing person being able to send emails to 5 people, with using AI, you can send it to 50 people a day. So it speeds things up and it makes it more easier. It takes the mundane out of creating these marketing campaigns.
This is a great point, actually, and I want to repeat it. In anything, when it comes to content generation, when using AI, with anything, you need to have the way it works, like with the way the formula is, like you have a person with the knowledge, right? A person with domain knowledge, with the knowledge. Then you have that tool that speeds things up, helps this person generate emails, in this case, for example, faster. And then you have the same person, actually, Joris, like you said, this is what I'm reiterating. Have a person look at this, that it makes sense, that it really aligns and is unique in a way that makes sense for this. So great point. Which actually brings
go ahead.
Well, I was saying that it actually brings us to, like, after marketing, of course, like the next thing that you can use AI with is for sales forecasting, right? And demand planning. So this is more about your internal use, right? Like this is not for AI generating content or something that goes out and customers interact with it or prospects interact with it. This is more about your personal, like internally within the company, for you to forecast and see patterns. It helps. When we were at that event, this is one of the things that one of the SVP, who's an SVP? The banks, like he mentioned that he was looking at an Excel spreadsheet with I don't know how many tabs with data, and then he realized, oh, wait a minute, I can feed it to that too. We created and get the summary. So it's actually now, like we're saying, we've had a lot of these capabilities before. Like you could do sales forecasting and demand planning before LLMs. Now it's a little bit more accessible and more widespread. And whatever tool you use, they have something that you can incorporate. And even if you don't have anything specific, in this case, though, like one of the concerns that people have is with security and safety. So if you don't have this within your within a sales forecasting tool or platform, if you just have an Excel spreadsheet and you want to analyze it, and if you're using something like ChatGPT, do opt for the option which is like for a business, where what they're saying for this one is that this option, when you opt in for a business, that they do not use your data to train the models, right? Your data is not used for training the models, which means that it will not be available for other people to see. So
Yeah.
In this case,
Yeah, that's a very good advice. Yeah, it's a little, you pay a little bit, but your intellectual property, your data stays safer.
The paid option that's not for businesses, this one is good if you're putting general information in there, right?
Yeah.
That's on your website anyway. So who cares? Like your mission, vision, these kind of things are on the website anyway. Who your customer is on your website anyway. So you can play with these things, that's okay. But for these ones, recommend. And again, it can help you see patterns in the data that you might not have noticed. But again, as I was saying, use it, but then verify and validate. Does it really make sense? If it tells you something, like, you don't have to test it like as if you are testing the output that, oh yeah, it's correct, but does it make sense? Like, if it tells you that one of your customers is actually spending hundreds of thousands of dollars when you're actually selling a product that's $5, like
Doesn't make sense. Yeah.
and you're
Watch out
selling
for
B2C.
hallucinations.
Yeah, you're selling B2C, right? Like it's consumers, not B2B. You're not selling in bulk. So it might not be right. It might not be correct. So verify and check. And the power that now these engines have, like they have the deep search as well, right? So it can help you with market trends as well, like sales forecasting in terms of market trends in general for your industry. So there's a lot of opportunity here in the sales forecasting and demand planning.
Yeah, and this will directly affect your inventory management, not improve if it's done right. It will improve your inventory management. It will help you allocate your resources in a much more smarter, efficient way, and you will face fewer surprises when it comes to your cash flow and your supply chain. It directly affects your supply chain, which is our segue into the next part, which is supply chain optimization. Take it away, Anna.
Oh, this is one of your favorite ones, isn't it? So go.
Yeah,
I'm saying, and I know you have experience with supply chain and the fifth one as well,
freight
with working
optimization.
with corporations, but it still applies to small, mid-sized businesses as well. So go ahead. You can share.
I mean, you can use AI from your plant floor, from the way you package your goods, from the way you plate your boxes, pallet your boxes, from the way you load the trucks, and from the truck route that goes from where your warehouse is to where your delivery locations are. You can optimize the entire production and the packaging and delivery, and you can manage your inventory. We call it intelligent inventory management, and it could be like we load your inventory into these AI models, and they go through it and they tell you have too many of this. You have, based on the past 6 years of usage or 5 years of usage, you have too many of this. You have too few of this. You're about to run out of this part. So it adds the intelligent where, as a business owner, you're too busy, running and running the business and don't have time to pay attention to the details. And there are, like, if you look at even as a medium-sized $50 million business, because you must have like tens of thousands of items in your inventory list in your ERP system. How are you going to manage those? And managing those, yes, based on what you have built some models based on your usage, but like you said, Anna, the things change, market changes, prices go up because of tariffs. Price of product goes up. If the price goes up, and you have already predicted the pricing for the next 2 years to your customers, oops, there goes your profitability. What do you do? So these systems can tell you ahead of time, so you can go and reactively go to your customers and adjust the pricing. So there is a lot of advantages. It's like freight. Freight is very expensive, especially express freight. If you have time, you have to get your parts and your supplies to your supplier, to your customer, right? So you become, as a supplier, if you don't send the goods on time, customer doesn't pay the invoice. It's in the contract. So you pay extra freight for express freight. Oops, all of your profits gone. All your EBIT is gone on express freight. So these are things that you can use for supply chain optimization. I mean, there are a lot of other usage, but at a high level, this is what you can do with your supply chain.
And again, these things were available before, right? These predictive analytics and things like this, and in corporations, like they build their own solutions sometimes. And nowadays, what we are seeing is that a lot of tools they have incorporated AI, right? That helps with this. So you probably already have a system, something that you're using for your supply chain. And it has probably already introduced an AI functionality, so you can go explore it and see how it helps you. And if you are in manufacturing, then the next use case applies to you. And again, I know, Jores, you've done a lot of work with this, and I don't know, like probably 90% of the plant floors are not ready for these kind of things. Because the machines are not smart, right? Like the machines don't have the sensors and they don't generate data, but it's predictive maintenance, right? And I'll let you talk about this one as well, because again, you have a lot of experience on the topic.
Absolutely. It's in today's fast-paced business and industry, the measure of the actually, I have clients who actually measure the downtime of their machinery by the minute, and they've quantified it into dollars. They can calculate how much it costs every minute that a machine is down. And I think as well, if it's a bigger business, yes, it's bigger. But when you think about it, even as a small to medium company, even though the number of machines may be smaller, but because of the size of the small size or medium size of the business, the effect is even larger, because you may not have 3 or 4 machines to take this one offline for a few hours and bring another one online. You may only have 1 machine or 2 machines. And this also goes not just for manufacturing, printing services. Can you imagine that you have 2 shifts running printing, you're printing, and your queue is full for the next 2 months? What happens if your machine goes down? The ripple effect, your printer goes down. Or so if like understanding the health of your machines and your systems that you're using for your manufacturing or for whatever it is you're doing printing, it just reduces the downtime and it saves big problems. And again, if you're late by an hour, then you have to pay extra freight to get the merchandise directly to your customers. If if the machine is faulty, it's causing quality and warranty issues. So and yes, so you predicted that, oh, your printer it needs every 6 months it needs maintenance. Well, not quite. That's just based on what manufacturer experience says. But if you knew there's an unforeseen thing, the weather changes or something happens, and you can tap into the health of your machines, then it's also very valuable. Again, depending on the size and your nature of your business, this is one of the most valuable predictive rather than reactive maintenance. And one other thing is with the predictive maintenance, you can actually schedule, because if you're not maintaining your machines, you can schedule for a company to come and maintain it, or versus you pick up the phone and call a maintenance person and say, I'm in hot water, I need you to come now. Can you imagine the hourly rate they're going to charge you for that? So predictive scheduled maintenance rather than reactive and disaster mode.
100%. So, and there are companies now that actually offer for machines that don't generate the data. They do offer ways for the machine to be monitored, right? So, and there are ways to do this. So, highly recommend exploring this. Now, the last 2 use cases we'll share are going back in a way to marketing. And the 6th use case is the most widespread use of ChatGPT and what we call AI, right? And it's content creation and copywriting. And a lot of you have probably used this: social media posts, emails, blog posts, articles, newsletters, descriptions of products, creating your whole website, right? We've all used this, and it helps us create the content faster. And as I was saying, the key part here is, so there are actually a few things, like, and you've probably heard this, like when using ChatGPT and other similar tools to generate content, they need to know the context, right? They need to know the information, like who about your business, who the content is for, like your avatar. Is it a cold audience? Is it a warm audience? All these kind of things. So you still need to have that the marketing knowledge. So you still need to have a person, whoever is using AI for content creation, for content generation, they still need to be knowledgeable, right? They still need to know about content creation. Like, how do you create content for a cold audience? How do you create content for a warm audience? Like, what are the differences? What are what's the purpose of the content, right? Depending on the audience and the stage of the relationship. And then once you have a person who actually knows, what AI helps is it helps with creating the content faster. It helps with brainstorming and generating ideas, right? But again, it's a game. It's a game and a collaboration. Like, AI, ChatGPT, like those LLMs, they turn into kind of another team member, right? It turns into another team member where the person you have, like the marketing specialist you have or content creation specialist you have, like, expert that they know their domain, and they work together with the AI tool, with LLM, whatever, like the ChatGPT, for example. And we are using ChatGPT a lot, but there are others, of course, as well, where like the AI helps with, as I said, generating ideas, even creating, writing some things. And then, of course, you have the person taking over whatever the output is and refining it, making sure that it's the voice of your company, making sure that it delivers on the purpose. If it's for a cold audience, that it creates that know, like, and trust factor, right? So it's really important, and it's the most widespread use case for AI, and what most of us, like small business, uh, even mid-sized businesses, right, what we have been using it for. And as I was saying, nowadays we can start seeing, especially the ones that are directly copy paste. We are actually very good at recognizing patterns as people. Like, this is something that for our survival, we've evolved in a way to recognize patterns. So we are starting to see how everything is generated with this, and people don't even take time to update it. So for this use case, our recommendation and advice as experts is that, yes, use it. Yes, it helps, but make sure that the person doesn't just copy paste and that's it. Take your time to update, to review, to make it a human output.
Yeah, we had a case last week that one of a senior director of one of our customers, he took literally, and he admitted lately afterwards, after the call that we had, that disaster that it created. And he said, "Oh yeah, I just copied and pasted from ChatGPT. We can just analyze it. You can just delete whatever you want." I'm like, wow. So he actually went ahead after a meeting. He asked ChatGPT something. He literally copied it, pasted it in an email, and he clicked send. And that send generated ripple effects all to SVP level, where they freaked out and said, "What on earth are you talking about? We never agreed to this. What are we? This is a disaster." And it just created an escalation level that was so unnecessary if the person had bothered to read it himself before he sent it. The receiver read it, and it was a disaster. So anyway, the fire was disaster was averted. We got on a call and we deleted everything. We completely rewrote the whole thing and sent a very simple one. But you're right. Read what it's creating, even if it's not hallucination. think about the consequences, read it from a recipient's perspective and what it's going to do. Don't just copy and paste it. I love it because I don't have to really think anymore to use the correct words, and I just type an email, I take it, put it in ChatGPT, and I ask it to revise it. And that's all, not to write it for me from scratch. I write it and give it to be revised, and it revised it very well, actually. But I still copy it and paste it back, compare it to what I wrote, and make sure that it's personal. So
Absolutely, 100%.
right.
And the last use case we wanted to share today, as we are going over 25
Running out
minutes
of
now,
time.
but
Yeah.
it's for customer insights and sentiment, right? Again, it's falls under the category of using those tools to analyze data. And it's ultimately, again, we've had capabilities like this before. It's now just a little bit easier. And you can use whatever AI tool you're using. And again, AI, just because
In
everyone,
quote unquote.
yeah, exactly. You can use it to check scan the reviews, surveys, social media mentions, right? Just to see what's the sentiment, to help you understand what your customers love about your company, when they are frustrated, and ways you can improve, right? Now,
Yeah.
highly discourage you from using the automations to respond to customer reviews.
No.
Respond personally. Like you don't have to respond as you as the business owner, right? Like you don't have to respond personally as the business owner, like especially when you have a team, right? Like especially when you have someone who is responsible for marketing and all these kind of things, social media. So they can be the one responding, but have a person respond to the good, the bad, like all kinds of reviews. Don't make it a chatbot response and things like this. And this is one of the use cases that we are not sharing because it's ridiculous. At some point, I don't know whether it's like this again or not, but LinkedIn was full of those chatbot solutions like bot solutions where instead of people engaging and interacting personally, a bot comments on the posts and creates posts, and it's like, no. Like that's why we are not discussing, and this is a huge no. Our power as small businesses, as mid-sized businesses, is the fact that we can be approachable and be human to human, leave the human interaction human. Highly recommend. Whatever else you use AI for or automations for, leave the human interaction human.
Very well put. That human interaction, that customer service, it will put you above and beyond your competition. In the past 20, 30 years, a lot of companies have gone down the rabbit hole of automation and replacing humans and replacing these very large customer centers and shrinking their sizes, but they've lost that human touch. Where now I think a lot of companies is becoming an advantage of a company who actually has people. And right now, if I call some company and a person picks up, I was like so pleasantly surprised. I love it. That company makes a mark in my mind that I want to use these people more, this company more. So yeah, make sure that you don't replace human touch with machines, but you use machines for what they're good at, which is automation and doing things faster and analyzing more data than you can in a shorter time.
And this is actually a wrap for today. So with the use cases we shared and no we mentioned in the end, as an action item, right? We are leaving you with this. Take a look at, if you want to listen again, and the use cases, take a look at your business and see whether any of these use cases applies to you. And if you're not using AI, can you explore it? Like, can you start using it? Because there's a lot of power. Like, there's a lot of power in automation and how it helps us provide more value, right? So being open-minded and seeing what might apply to you and what might you want to try with your business or improve within your business. If you're already using one or more tools, improve how you use it, not rely on it 100% like blindly, right? Not rely blindly. So yeah, and this is your action item. Take a look at your business, take a look at the use cases we've shared, and see where and how you can improve. How can you make your business more valuable with the help of this technology that we now have access to at a pretty affordable rates, actually. And as I said, already included in a lot of the tools we already have.
Absolutely.
As I mentioned yesterday, if you are not into our newsletter, highly recommend for you to subscribe. I will add the link again because in the newsletter we send it every other Friday, so it will not be in your inbox too much, right? But we provide additional value there. We provide additional use cases and ideas that we don't share on the podcast. So highly recommend joining the newsletter. I'll send the link, and looking forward to seeing you in our email and continuing the conversation there as well.
Likewise. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Anna. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Bye-bye.
Bye.